What's up, boys? Dusk Warden here. How's it going, fellas? It's been a hot minute. I know I haven't made a video in a few weeks and stuff, but I figured with the cooler roof actually releasing, I needed to actually, come back. If I'm gonna do one last ride, I might as well do it all, right? Um, so why did I decide to come back? The real reason is I feel like I kind of owe it to run one last time. All the homies want to come back and do it one last time. So I figured that even amongst the lawsuit and stuff, if we're looking at it from a very pessimistic point of view, you can at least play it some more before you have to say goodbye to whatever class or character you are aligned with. So that's the pessimistic way of saying it. The more optimistic, slightly way of seeing it would be, in my opinion, to think about like you have no idea how long we still have. It's like some people could even be so hopeful as to say we have forever, because anything could happen, which is certainly true in life. I don't like to really think about it. All I'm seeing is my friends are playing, I'm having a good time. So that's kind of where I was. I'm gonna probably play more, make some more videos, and start streaming again. As far as the game goes, so release. How did release go? So first of all, I fucking managed to get in. It released at like 10 a.m. East time on the Friday. I was into the game at 10:01, so I definitely skipped a queue. I know some people had a queue, but it wasn't that bad. I think everybody in my guild managed to get into Vol'jin instead of Rexxar. Opening Rexxar pretty early was a good move on their part, in my opinion. So that's as far as the server goes. The stability was surprising. So in a weird way, I was like pleasantly surprised. I thought it would be rougher than it really was, which is a really welcome thing. I was kind of worried there would be constant crashes. It was really not that bad. I mean, yeah, you've had some crashes like a few times a day the first like 2 days, but it's not like it wasn't unplayable. It wasn't ever like fuck this, I'm going to sleep. Like it never lasted long, etc., etc. So props to them for that one. Um, so that's how stability goes. The classes, I feel like they didn't say anything, but a lot of the bugs that we had in the beta are fixed mostly. Not all of them, of course, because it is what it is. It's kind of a rushed release slightly, let's be honest. But it went okay. We didn't have really any problems, so that felt pretty good. I think the only notable bug we've had was Elfire Cox pet missing some abilities, which made the spec kind of rough. But outside of that, he just played war a little bit and it was fine. Tuning and stuff, I mean, it really feels like class dependent. If you're playing like a Pyro or a Stormbringer, you definitely have less of a good time than, let's say, a Primalist or a Witch Hunter. Or many of the other melees, I would say. Any melee that has a tank spec kind of trucks. Speaking of tank specs, I think it's safe to say that a lot of tanks, people look at them and see that they're overtuned. I will say that I'm seeing, I'm not too worried about like the leveling thing, but I can say one thing is I'm at endgame time when doing heroics, and I'm seeing tanks in like between heroics and questing gear, right, doing very, very close to the damage we used to be doing in BIS, especially in AoE. So, monitor tanks pretty closely. They seem pretty strong right now. Side effect of tanks being pretty strong, at least in the damage department. Tanks that leech, like Witch Hunter or Tyrant and stuff like that, get hyperscaling. When you base on leech and you suddenly do way more damage than you're expected to do, you're kind of hyperscaling in a weird way. So definitely monitor those. Not to say that any tank that isn't a leech tank isn't good. I've seen every type of tank do really well. Honestly, I haven't seen any tank look particularly weak. So that's definitely a plus. We didn't have that high of expectation. Even tanks that I previously rated pretty low have received little changes. For example, Sun Cleric, I know like the last time I put out like it's a tier list, but it was kind of just yapping for the sake of yapping about the specs. But I know I rated that one pretty low, but it received some updates on like their Vow of Light and stuff, and they seem extremely tanky. So I can safely say I haven't seen a tank in a bad spot yet, which is welcome. Very, very much of a welcome change. Another thing I would say DPS. There's definitely number tuning is kind of all over the place. I feel like they've taken some ideas from the end of the beta and then they kind of winged it. They kind of just rolled with it, made some random changes, and they didn't have time to test. So we have some stuff that does way too much damage. I'm not gonna talk about it because I wouldn't want any fucking random patch to come in between now and like the next 2 days. That's gonna change all of that, so I lead all you guys in error. So I'm not gonna name any specific spec here. You might have seen them, but always remember, like everybody leveling and stuff, there's a good portion of the perceived power and stuff that's really based upon just like level scaling or the type of pulls being made, favoring certain specs, getting different things at different level breakpoints. Some specs just shine from level like 15. Some specs don't shine until 50. It doesn't mean that at 60 they're not good, right? Some specs are capstone. Some specs need their capstone, right? So don't be too quick to judge anything off of leveling right now. If you're 60 already, congratulations. You've also need to touch grass just like me. Speaking of the leveling journey, how it was for me, the first character I did took me roughly around 33 hours, which was my primalist because that's what I was expecting to play for raids. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So that's what I did first. It took me roughly 33 hours. I got the Realm First Primalist, Realm First Draenei, and combination as well. I ran first Draenei Primalist. So I was very, very, very happy. I didn't really think I was gonna get it. I kind of did like a no sleep, super try hard thing to do it. That I didn't really expect to do, but at some point I was like mid 50s when it was time to do it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just doing it live. I was lucky enough to have a day off to do it. And then I did my Templar. Very, very lucky for me to enabled Aura of Experience, Potion, and Heirlooms the day that I made my Templar. So I am very, very lucky. It took me something like 15 hours on the second time, a little bit less. I wasn't really paying attention. I was kind of zoned out. But yeah, it went pretty good on that front. So definitely like second characters are not as bad. They're not as bad if you have like the heirlooms and you're ready to pop like auras and stuff, which is I know it's like a debatable thing, but it's just the Ascension ecosystem really at this point. Um, so yeah, I think the leveling was pretty fine. It was nice to see the new zones. The new zones. I wanted to talk about the new zones. So I did the new zones of Skadield, the Pale Reach. 10 out of 10. It's a banger. The look of the place is a complete banger. The quest lines were awesome. I read most of the quests because they're new. You fucking experience them once in your life, right? When it's new, every time you're gonna come after that's gonna be rehashed. So I decided to go for it and just read like 90% of the quests. Absolute banger. Absolute banger. Almost all the quests are like 10 out of 10 bangers. I'll say one thing. Um, I was pleasantly surprised with the quality and the fact that I didn't encounter bugs while being there. That was it was I know it's like nothing to say, but like for a complete new zone, it felt like wow. It felt like a wow place. Like if I didn't tell you, if you didn't know, right? You would just say, "Wow, these buildings here are like they look newer. They look like better graphics. One would say like they're using like BFA textures for the buildings and stuff, so it looks really really good. But outside of that, if I told you that this was like, yo man, you do like human. If you're a human, you do like Elwind and you go Westfall and then Red Ridge and then Duskwood and then you go to the Pale Reach, you would believe me. Like you would just believe me 100%. You wouldn't even doubt it. You would just do that for sure. Like every time, or Pale Reach or Duskwood are kind of the same levels, but whatever. But you would believe me, like 100% of the time, you would not even have a doubt if you didn't know any better. So 10 out of fucking 10, absolute banger from the Ascension devs on that one. I'm very happy I managed to experience that um, at my own pace to read stuff, and I wouldn't say it's like the most efficient zone for pure XP per hour degeneracy. But come on, man, like it's a new release and stuff. Like just if we can look at one fucking zone as something to enjoy for like 2 hours, right? While you're speedrunning through it anyway. So yeah, that was a new zone. I would say this release is a complete success in my opinion. I really can't find enough to complain about to really say too much about bad things, right? So that's a pretty good point. As far as my plans going forward, my guild is gunning for the realm first, so there's that. I was lucky enough that one of our old supports kind of decided to come back, so I'm going to be able to play my Templar going forward with 95% certainty. So there's that. I'm probably going to make my guide again at some point for Templar once I finish some more testing for some of the specs. And we'll see how that goes. I'm not 100% sure what the next video is going to be. It might just be some guide or something. I'm not sure. But if you guys have anything you really want to see, you can tell me. Although I will hold off on making like another tier list for like a little minute because we just don't know enough. You know what I mean? Like we just don't fucking know shit yet. Like I have no idea what's happening with half of the specs. And we don't really have any number testing. Even players that are very consistent and know their one spec really good, like they don't have enough knowledge of what's going on to answer properly, right? Like we can't know for sure because what if you're just using a wrong set? We don't have enough gear, we don't have enough stats, we don't have the environment. Like Mythic Plus isn't open yet, so if you're playing like a scaling spec, right? Or if you're playing like a ramp spec. Well, in heroic dungeons, mobs outside of like bosses, and even then, they don't really last enough for you as a dot class to reach your potential output. So, what if you make the wrong opinion about that? I've also not done PvP at all, so I can't really comment on that yet. Although I will probably dabble, but I'm kind of waiting on more people to be 60, so we have actual queues, which should be next weekend or something. We should have a good enough level 60 pop. Even the more like, average player is going to be 60 if they didn't take time off work or speed run through the process. Which is definitely good. We can use more 60s. Although I'm surprised that heroic dungeons are already popping. So there is that. But yeah, I just wanted to make a little video, just pop in, just talk a little bit to you guys, see what's up, and you know, bring a little bit of a positive vibe to the whole situation. I know some people are kind of dooming, but I think we got a success on our hands, boys, and I can't believe it's finally out after all these years. You know, that's what is surprising to me. I like I said in my last video, dude, I thought it was Jover. I definitely thought it was 100% Jover. So yeah. Alright, man. Peace out, boys. Have a good day. Please remember to enjoy yourself and take things at your speed. Peace out.